In examining Sager's 4 steps when compared to this article, I found that Sanjakdar was on point in stage 1, which was clarifying the vision and the targets. The vision was to determine how to develop an appropriate sexual health education curriculum, while the target was Muslim students. The goal was to identify the current issues with teaching the curriculum, which involved political issues, and a strategy to fix the curriculum problem and find a way to maintain it. Once the group formed their vision and their targets, they went on to stage 2, which was articulating a theory, and in this, Sanjakdar formed a professional learning team. And in this professional learning team, they had conversations with the group. They were recorded to discuss the issue of developing a comprehensive curriculum. Utilizing the PLT or professional learning team, Sanjakdar and her team were able to ask the needed questions, and then they could identify the problems they would face in implementing a new curriculum. Once the PLT figured out what the problem was, they had to find a way to implement the action and collect the data, which was stage 3 of Sager's steps. I feel as though Sanjakdar and the group identified the action that they wanted to occur. They wanted to develop a curriculum that went along with, that didn't offend anybody in the Muslim faith and still maintained the information that they needed to know. So what they decided to do was they came up with a plan to create an Islamicized curriculum where the main focus was centered around the Quran and the Hadith. The issue I saw in this, though, is that I wasn't really sure about how they were collecting their data. They had a lot of questions that they came up with as a group, and they identified problems they would face, such as parents having problems with it, that they didn't want some of their students to have this curriculum, that it went against their current beliefs. But outside of that, I couldn't exactly figure out how the study was going to be implemented in the schools. There was not a clear definition or vision of how the plans would be put in place. How would they develop the curriculum once they knew the issues? It was as though, while important, they focused so much on the problem instead of identifying a plan to determine how to align the curriculum. This then led to stage 4 of Sager's steps, which was reflecting on data and planning informed action. From the conversations of the group, the realization came that while there would be some opposition, it was crucial as teachers to establish their role in the education of their students. They identified what the problems were and what they wanted to do, but now it was time to take the next step and figure out a plan. To plan informed action, they intended to research what other colleges were doing and get the opinions of Muslim students in both Islamic and non-Islamic schools. It really seemed to me in reviewing this article that the team was still trying to figure out exactly what they wanted to do. They knew the problem. However, how were they going to figure it out, and what were they going to put in place to get the solution that they wanted? They seemed to focus so much on what was going to happen negatively because of what they were trying to do that they didn't have a clear plan set out, in my opinion. As leaders, we had to not be afraid to give our input and identify our vision and plan of what we want to put in place. A lot of us need guidance from somebody else, in this case a leader. We need an idea, and then we can build on that. Once an idea or a vision is communicated, then conversations can occur about what will happen next or what opposition might be faced. In reading this article, I can see where the formation of a professional learning team can be very beneficial. One of my concerns with my project is the lack of knowledge of and integration of technology within my school. I do not want to assume anything of my staff, but rather find ways to communicate with them so that their voice can be heard. By forming a PLT, we can identify the problem, discuss ways to fix it, and just continually communicate with each other throughout the process. The formation of a PLT will allow for this.